Francis Chisirinya, the Private Sector Foundation Chief Membership Officer. Recently you had, it was yesterday, when you had an engagement with the President as a business community, CEOs, and about 400 of you attended this function. Certain things, especially when it comes to transport, Lere transport, revamping it and ensuring that it is up and running. What's your take?
Like transport, the President was very equivocal and clear that transport for the private, for cargo, should actually be mainly rail, but it should also, we should also utilize water transport, which has a lot of logic and sense. You know, today, the cost of transport accounts for anywhere between 20 and 30% of the cost of the product that you buy. That is quite high. We are so happy when the President has now decided that we should repair our meter gauge rail from Malaba to Kampala, but also repair the other section from Tororo all the way up to Pakwach.
Did the President share with you the plan on how he intends to achieve that? Because he said the same thing during the time of COVID, because when trucks were stuck along the borders in Kenya, they started opting to use some barges, especially coming from Tanzania, to bring in fuel. It seems to be more of words than the action, because up to this day, the Lere's Corporation is one of the most underfunded entities in government. So how does he intend to achieve that?
While we didn't get into so much details on how it is going to be done, we are very well aware today that the government has sourced and secured funding from the African Development Bank to repair the rail between Malaba and Kampala. So we believe that with the money now available, they should be able to move quicker.
Improving access to electricity, and he also mentioned something to do with the mergers, where Eskom, Umeme and the rest, plus several other entities within the energy sector are going to be merged. Is that something you feel is going to create a great deal in terms of reducing government costs, especially on public service?
Each one of them has its own overheads, its expenses, paying staff, paying this and the other. If you consolidate them, there are some costs that you remove. Now, if you remove those costs, the belief is that that saving will go to the consumers. So the manufacturers, the commercial people are using the power, and even consumers for private use will definitely get the power at cheap costs.
Power losses continue to remain high, and then you say you want to merge agencies and reduce the power tariff. Isn't it just a goose chase?
Yes. That is an area that we should caution government on. If you look at the cost drivers for the tariff, is it only about different agencies running these things? One of the challenges that is even being faced today is that government is not actually a good payer for utilities. Still, the payment for power are slow and they take long to come. Water, the same thing. Now, our worry is if government has been slow in paying a private company for the power that they use in the army barracks, in the police barracks, in some. Yes. Now, if it is a government agency that is now responsible for collecting, is it really going to collect this money?
An issue of improving credit facilities or to boost businesses, especially in Uganda Development Bank, boosting it from about 500 million to about 4 trillion shillings, according to Secretary to the Treasury. How is that attainable?
Our country, unfortunately, is a country that has a very limited supply of financing for business. You can only finance your business majorly in 2-3 ways. One is by getting your brother, your sister, your father, your friend to raise some capital and put in your business. You can get money from your friends to put in your business. But I can tell you that is not for the serious businesses, the big businesses. Now for the bigger businesses that are looking for bigger capital, they can only get money from commercial banks.
You realize that for you to attain a loan from Uganda Development Bank, it should be at least starting from about 200 million. And how many businesses in Uganda are worth 200 million? What are you trying to do? You're just trying to widen the gap between the mushrooming businesses and the already existing big businesses.
I'm aware they have now facilities for small businesses. Now their job is to tell the small businesses that we do have these facilities. Come for them. And this is what you need.
The president is pushing for solar power irrigation. About a year ago, the same government attained a 370 billion shillings grant from the UK government, and it was supposed to be spearheaded by another UK firm called Nexus Green to carry out a pilot study and targeting about 3,000 farmers. Why is it that government is so quick to say certain things? But first of all, this one is not yet done. They haven't seen the results of that. Now you want to push for more. It's like disjointed effort.
It is the very reason that, as you mentioned, that we needed to do pilot projects to learn from the smaller pilot projects before we can actually expand. Now, are we doing this the way it is supposed to be done? Are we learning anything from it? Or we are just getting one project and add another one before learning from the other projects? I think it all goes back to what we've realized, that implementation is bedeviled by so many problems in a government.
Coming to Private Sector Foundation, it's a foundation that is supposed to be helping out a lot, especially the private sector, those who are in business and everyone else that falls in that category. But the allegations that actually Private Sector Foundation has become a cash cow for government, channel in a lot of money. The big boys come and borrow from that Private Sector Foundation, and then what it is meant to do remains in a balance, hanging in a balance. What's your take on that?
I think first of all, the Private Sector Foundation has been found to be a very credible institution in terms of administering grant money or donor money from government, from the development partners. We have very well established systems through which money can be accessed.
Can a Rolex person in Wandegea access money from Private Sector Foundation?
I've seen cases where people come and ask, okay, I'm a Chapat Rolex maker. I would like you to buy for me or to build for me a kiosk with all this equipment, which is a very good thing. Now, the way PSFU was set up and the kind of grants that we give, they are not meant to come and construct for you. No. They are supposed to prepare you to be able to go to another financier who can help you construct. Our job is to help with the non-financial expenses, the non-financial inputs, training, doing the designs, doing the paperwork that the banks need to give you the money. But for us, we don't have loans that we are giving.
Francis Chisirinya, Chief Membership Officer, Private Sector Foundation, thanks for the time, and we hope the President's words will be matched with actions.